Howdy, Curb Creeper. Done that the other time? Yeah, whatever. This is Iran. On the same day they lost the president. Howdy, folks. Welcome back. I didn't get a chance to tell you I would be back last time when we left. I got cut off. But I'm back. I told you I would be back. All right. Here we go. Let's get it loaded up. And while this is loading up, I'd like to thank you all for taking a moment of your precious time to be here with this precious family. And some of you know how precious you are. Okay. So here we go. Ready to roll? We are May 20th, 2024. This big blast. Now they're reporting it's off the backside of the sun. So everybody breathe a sigh of relief there, because a full halo blast like that would be coming our way, would be quite ugly. So that big old halo blast that you see here heading away from us, thankfully, but quite interesting what happened there, and we captured it last night. Let's just capture our main event right here, shall we? We'll pull this down a little bit. There we go. All right, so you can see we have an object that's like right here in this vicinity that's moving out already. Okay, so that one we're not too that's not the one I want to point out. That one's already moving out. I have little things going on left and right here. Let's just kind of plug away. Then we have this flash before the halo. So, boom. You see this outer flash right here. Then there's a CME coming out of this region. Next. And then right here, I believe. Whoops, no, it was a frame before. Wait. Wow, it looks like our frame is missing now. Well, we got it captured on last night's show. That's interesting here. We can go back to that event once it rolls back around. I'm just going to click through each one here for you. You can see stuff shooting around through here, sneaking through. It's out there in the solar wind. It doesn't address the sun. Some of them don't address the sun so closely that they have a magnetic interaction like this does. Okay, but some are out there passing just outside the magnetic field, out in the solar wind, and you can see them kind of cruising by here. Now this frame, where did it go? Huh. So we're at 548, 612, 24. Where did our frame go? I guess it's back here. It must be that one? No, it's the next one. Anyways, you can see we have quite this large spread right here. You can see this whole dark patch right here. If you tilt your head to the left, you can see we had an object, a bigger one right here with this whole spread. For some reason, I can't pick it out tonight. Oh, well. Just move on. All right, there's your loop for today. Just kind of let that play for a second. You have to forgive me, my eyes are a little sore today. I'm tired. Been through a lot. All right, moving on. There's your activity for today. That thing moving out, and then this bigger one right there. All right, now let's come on over to our solar ham here. Wow. Okay, here we go. Kind of a little bumpy ride today. No spikes or nothing much, nothing too big. You saw our activity today, and the main one was kind of this right here. So all that activity, but didn't show too much on our graph because it didn't even reach M class. All right. Now that one off the backside was probably a huge X class flare, but it doesn't hit our monitors. We don't have any monitors out there to monitor the power of it. So no telling what class that was, but you could tell by that discharge before the CME that was a very intense explosion. Probably, definitely an X-class flare, probably. All right, our indices are kind of hanging around 200 right now. We were below 200 for a minute, and then it popped back up a little bit. Now we're lowering back down, but we're still at 200 here. So in the red, our other indices still kind of in the cautionary right there. So we still got potential. It's out there, right? Even though this X flare potential says 10%, we still got these big old sunspots that are out there. So I would say that X flare potential could possibly just a tad bit higher, maybe 15. Now, we were supposed to have our G1 event today, but I guess it didn't hit. So now they're saying G1 tomorrow. All right. So still expecting a G1 to hit. Okay. Then 21st, 22nd, nothing. Okay. We'll see what happens there. Okay. It's kind of hard to keep up with it all now anymore. So much stuff is happening. When you got 5 in one day, which one's going which way? Which one is it, that one, or is it this one that's coming in? Is it this blast that's going to hit us, or is it the next one? So it's kind of hard to keep track, and we miss sometimes, and that's okay, But now they're calling for the G1 on the 20th here. Like I was said, these sunspots, there's not a lot of them, but we still got these two big players right here, 79 and 85. Over here on our KP, you can see that we didn't take in anything yet. So our G1 or any kind of geomagnetic storm has not arrived yet, okay? Because it would make something bigger than a 3. So no impact yet from our geomagnetic storms. Our auroras right now are pretty weak, pretty faint right now. That means we're not taking on a bunch of energy right now. There we go. So that's pretty weak. That's pretty weak. It's good, but we're still due an impact, all right? A G1, I guess. So here we go. Let's get into our article here. A fast-moving full halo mass ejection is seen leaving the sun this morning, beginning at 5:30. Based on an updated imagery, this event occurred on the far side of the sun and is not Earth-directed. Perhaps our old friend 64 is up to its old tricks again. We should begin to see the big sunspot region turn back into view early next week already? Yeah, great. Everybody hold on. Now, update. There is an incorrect report from NOAA stating that this event is Earth-directed and associated with a minor C flare early this morning in the southwest quadrant around 83. They also show a change for strong G3 magnetic storm conditions on the 22nd. While there was a minor release of plasma from the Earth-facing event, the strong halo CME is far side and not headed towards our planet. The narrow stream of plasma associated with the C6.9 flare is also headed away from Earth. I expect them to have this corrected by their next update. So they're even having problems tracking which one's which going which way. All right. So it's important we kind of correct these mistakes. We don't want to panic people, but we do want to get it right. This huge halo, C flare halo is heading away. All right, thankfully, because we don't need that. But they corrected it. So right now, they also show a change for strong G3 geomagnetic storm conditions on May 22nd. Okay, so we might be getting a G3 on the 22nd. That's yesterday's. Let's go open the tracker, do a little track-a-lack in here. How is this showing up on the camera? I guess okay. Still expecting this one little bump right here. Our main one, though, if this is the one, heading out the backside right there. Whew, thankfully. But right here, it's the same one we've been seeing, just a little side swipe, barely clipping us. Okay, so nothing really new on the tracker. All right. So glad to see you guys here and having a nice time chatting. Just to recap, this is old, but 12 X flares were produced by 64. And if that one off the backside, which is probably 64 because it came from right about that region, that would make it 13. Okay, let's move on to this article real quick. Look at that. That's not a sunset. That's an aurora set. Pretty cool. In Africa, of all places. All right. Farside CME targets Venus. Giant sunspot 64 is probably still active on the far side of the sun. We know because yesterday it, or a companion sunspot, part of the complex probably, hurled a bright full halo CME into space. According to a NASA model, the storm cloud will make a direct hit on Venus today. Poor Venus. Potentially stripping away a small amount of that planet's atmosphere. Oh, well, that's nice. Just gonna strip away its atmosphere, small part of it. Hopefully not. All right. Anyways, more auroras in Africa for the first time in 30 years. This site right here has received photos of auroras in Africa. They appeared during the historic geomagnetic storm of May 10th. And yeah, you can come over, visit this site, read the rest of the article. Let's move on to our Schumann, shall we? Or shall we, Schumann? Here's our latest grinding event right here that we had, and it was just a sudden impact. It was just all of a sudden it came on. It wasn't like it built up and then all of a sudden tapered off. It was just whammo. All of a sudden the brakes started grinding like somebody pulled out in front of you and you jammed on your bad brakes and they started grinding all of a sudden really fast. And then it tapers off. All right. We get a little weakness after it, but we come back to life with a little bit of grinding. And as we can see, this latest image, let me refresh this data, please. All right, you can see right here, we're starting to go into another grinding event right here. It's not much to see, but you can see it's lighting up like this area right here, right on the edge. So that's pressure. We're under a lot of pressure, and the core and the shell are starting to grind again. So that means we're a lot of pressure right now, maximum pressure. And now we need to release energy. Now let's get on over here to our null school where I have it set up right here. Can you see our spherical effect? Spheroid directing air currents there. Now, once I pull back, you see that is right in the middle of the United States. That thing is taking the weather and splitting it. See how these two bands are coming together? This cold air coming down. If this wasn't here splitting them, it would just blend with this and go all the way straight across. This thing is splitting it up and sending a lot of that energy up this way. And the curl effect, the eddy effect, is driving everything downward like this. So this is your upper jet stream. This isn't your weather altitude. This is way up there. But look at this. Here again, we have, and you can see the coloration right here, spheroid right there. And then you can see wind splitting right before it. The low pressure that builds up right here at the tip makes the air split and go around it. I'll let you watch those airflow symmetries for a minute so you can adjust your eyes a little bit and see the unseen. And look how it's Look how it's taking it and just severely arcing up this way. Let me pull back like that and putting a big split in that whole thing. Amazing, isn't it? Come over to this site. Check it out. Don't take my word for it. Come over here and play with this thing. That's your upper jet stream at 250. Let's go to our lower at 500. Okay, now that flow up above has caused this effect here. Down a little bit lower. There's like, oops, let me take these winds off here for a second. That's just weird. But as we pull back, you can see your lower jet stream effect is pulling everything off of the Pacific. Boom. And then we have this pulling moisture out of the South Pacific, up, mixing it in. Now, that's your lower jet stream. Let's go to your weather down below it. Now it's causing this effect in our weather. We're still got moisture coming up out of the Gulf, coming up here. Cold air that's coming down from here, creeping in. It's not really a storm front, but you see how this is running the coastline? Well, other air that's colder is bleeding through here and then getting mixed in. Going over the Rockies, these high altitudes here, cool that air off, and cold air off the Rockies is mixing in with this warm air right here in the, the foothill area. All right, and that's where they had tornadoes and storms today. It was through there. While we're at this, take a little trip around real quick. There's one, something in the middle, another one. These two up here. Look at these storms down here. All right, so I don't think I see anything else too major. Now let's come on over here to our sandstorm here and check on it, see how it's doing today. Oh, geez. Somebody drink a bunch of white paint and then throw up on the planet? Yuck. All right, bunch of sand still, North Africa. You can see a bunch of sand in this region here. Still a big sandstorm going out there. Little pockets here and there. You know, these wind currents pick it up and take it to an area. It'll run up against the mountainside where it can't get over and get trapped and build little pockets and stuff. And now as I release the winds, you'll see the wind effects and how it intensifies it in some areas and not in others. So there's your, let me just pull back right there. Ongoing sandstorm since November of last year, all the way through the winter time. Still dumping sand over here on South America, also bringing it through this corridor. This is our hurricane corridor. This sand will kind of quell the hurricane activity, except for I just saw a report talking about water temperatures in that region right now are at August temperatures. The temperatures that we have in August in this part of the ocean are already at August levels. So it's going to get a lot hotter over the course of the summer. And despite this sand, we're probably going to see a lot of hurricanes. We'll kind of monitor that as well. Okay, so there's your sandstorm right now. I need to get over here to. No, that's good. Let's go do our SO2. Take the wind off. Take the map down. Thank you. All right, we'll zoom into America here. As you can see, we got a country divided here. One side's bleeding out, the other side kind of patchy, but, pretty clear. Oops, got a little wiggle. I think I bumped my thing that time. Oh, yep, you can tell. All right, well, there's your SO2 and pretty dark purple. You can see a lot of the regions that were flooded. No more flooding now, and now this gas is coming back out of the ground, and some of those patches that were plugged up have cleared now. All right, so a lot of SO2 coming out of that half of the country. Then we come on over here. We'll go take a peek at China. That's during the nighttime. That's during their daytime. And you can see they still got a lot of pressure. It's creeping up into this region now, all the way up into here. Look at that. All right. Before we were talking about maybe this region right here. Okay. Now it's creeping up into here. Now it's creeping up into there. And that would be North and South Korea. And then look at the island of Japan here. Got a lot of SO2 coming out of that spot. A couple running down the mountains right there. So a lot of sulfur coming out of their ground. Indication of pressure in the region. Then we come over to here. Here's our relief valve, one of them, Java, and you can see that the other volcanoes have kind of calmed down here, and that this tip up here is getting a little brighter or a little darker right in that region right there. So trying to fix the brightness because the screen looks like it's not very bright tonight. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the one that's not very bright. Well, I guess not. All right, moving on. So a lot of pressure coming out of that region. Our little relief valve doing its job. Some of the other places look around. Australia used to be a spot that didn't have any of this. Well, eventually now they're starting to have their perforations in the crust and starting to see gas leak out of these little pores in the skin of the earth or the balloon, we'll say. Okay. All of this over here is all really speckled. A little different than what we're used to kind of seeing there. All right, so moving back on out here. So there's your SO2. Let's get on over to the S's. Sea surface temperature anomaly. SSTA, sea surface temperature anomaly. So we're having anomalies, heat anomalies. Right there, right there. And now our main spot right there, looking round, actually circular in shape. Right off the coast here. Let's come on over here. Now look at this. When we come over here to Taiwan to check this out, it used to be surrounded with yellow and then it lowered after the series of earthquakes. Now we're in red. Okay, it's lower in temperature. Let me pull up temperature chart. Red being lower in temperature, white being hot, yellow, hotter, orange, not so hot. So red being the cooler temperature. So it cooled off in this area, and we have cold water inundation coming back in. See these other spots? Cold water trying to push out that warm water. All this was yellow, and now it's gone, and now this cold water is pushing it out. So this spot is also a relief valve, and you can tell by it relieved the earthquakes, the swarm and everything. The yellow pressure died, and now we got cold water coming in there. Look down here. Here's our other relief valve. Look at all the other water around it that's hot, except for right here because it's a relief valve. The water has, cold water's been allowed to stay in this region because it's your relief valve, just like the other one. It's like right here. This fulcrum point. Oh, catch up in your journal. That's good that you journal. Wow. I journal too. Not many people do that. Okay. Anyways, cold water relief valve. You can tell. Now, I think we're gonna move on from this. I don't want to do the calendar jump thing on that again. That actually made me sick to my stomach last night, so I have to kind of move on from that. If you want to do that yourself, you can come over. You can set it up on SSTA. Here's your little calendar square. Pop that open, and there's your calendar. You can go back a week or two from there's your current day right there. So you can go back to any of these days, click on it, and hit OK, and compare what that spot used to look like. Wow, really? Do it? Okay. 2 weeks ago from the 14th. Well, it would have been our closest would be the 1st. All right, would be the 31st, but one day we'll go to the 1st. So 13 days ago, this yellow spot looked like that. 2 weeks ago, it looked like that. Okay. Let's get that in the corner there so you can see it. Oh, why you make me do this? All right, so there it was 2 weeks ago, and then today, that's a dramatic increase. All right, moving on. Okay, now we're here at our deep quake region, and we finally had a deeper quake here down at 613. All right, so our mid-range 4.6, that's our typical magnitude for our deep quakes. So kind of normal activity, but down nice and deep, 613. So we're seeing pressure down deep being released, coming up towards the surface. There's a 5.0 right there. You know what we do with 4.9s here, and it's for a reason. So 5.0 there. We'll come on over here. There's a 5.7 at a depth of 49 there. So a little bit deeper down there, but some energy. 5.7 energy down below there. That could have been bigger too. We know this place, right? Now look here. Our relief valve at Java with a bunch of SO2 coming out. We got multiple volcanoes. We got earthquakes now. So usually we don't have too many earthquakes here because of all the volcano activity, but there's been a lot of pressure. So when you have a lot of volcanoes, this is your relief valve, and your relief valve is having earthquakes also. That means there's quite a bit of pressure down there, right? So it's spitting out a 5.2 down at 88. Yeah, that's a mid-range 5 at the surface right there. And then look, right next door on the other island of Sumatra, where Marapi, we got Merapi and Marapi. We got Krakatoa and the Sunda Strait right here where all that SO2 is coming out. Whoop, come back to this. Never go back to that. Sunda Strait right here. All right, there's Sumatra and Java, our relief valves. Let me get it right about there. And there we go. Off the coast right here where Marapi is our little quake here. A 5.0. 4.9. 5.0, especially when it's down at 61.6. That's a little deeper. So 5 at the surface. 5 energy at the surface being released around both sides of our relief valve. Okay. And you can, like I said, you can see a lot of SO2 in this region, especially the island of Java. Where I want to take you is right here. Please take that down and bring this up. Where are we here? Yes. A little bit further up. There it is. Okay. Do you see this lake right here? Do you see the rim of mountains around it? So it's got a rim of mountains around it and a big deep pit in the middle of it. That's an old volcano, you guys, right there. An old caldera. Right next to that old caldera, this snowy capped volcano right here is Mar Oppie, M-A-R Oppie. Not M-E-R, but M-A-R. And that's the one that's going off now. That was our newer one, like last year. This one came online. And look how close it is to that thing. All right. And then if we go back to here, we're talking this right there. A lot of SO2 coming out of Mar Oppie, that volcano, and that lake area. Whoa. Right there. All right, so our volcanoes doing their job. Got a couple added earthquakes now. So some energy had built up, and we had some earthquakes pop off in this region right here, right around our relief valve. Now, sorry, I get off on a tangent sometimes. Back to business. Our mid-range 4 here, but down at 79. Nothing in their deep pit area today. But over here, going up this branch, we got a mid-range 4 down at 111. Our 5.4 down at 38. Oh, it's on this little mountain ridge right there. I thought it was on. So 4.5 there, creeping up. Here's a little spot, 4.7 down at 35. And then we come up to our fulcrum point here at Taiwan. Boom. Come here. 4.4 down at 23. And another 4.4 at 26. So a couple of 4.4s right here at our fulcrum point. We're leaving energy at that region right there where we had our hot water thing right here around this island turn cold because of energy being relieved at that fulcrum point. And here we are with pressure built up. It did its job and dumped out 2 4.4s worth of energy there. Up here, Japan, real quick. That's where our yellow hot spot is right there. 4.1 coming off of that region right there. Let me go back to the water really quick. Sorry, I have to keep bouncing around, but it's so people kind of grasp the concept. It's simple stuff, but sometimes, science has blinded you so much that we have to kind of repeat this stuff until it kind of sinks in. So, Northern Island right here, the northern tip, of that island is our region where all our hot water coming out of the ocean right there. So, bingo, earthquake in that spot. 4.1 down at 34. A lot of pressure built up because it's kicking out an earthquake too. Here we are in China with a 4.7 at the surface there. That's energy being scrubbed. Another 4.3 at the surface, more energy being scrubbed. 4.1 down at 128 here at a fulcrum. Another fulcrum point, 4.5 down at 197. These are a little deeper. They would be a little stronger at the surface. So our fulcrum points here, we're leaving energy. A couple of little, diverse quakes. We've seen some up here the Gobi Desert before, so that's not so diverse. But this lake region here of China, see all these little pitted area, it's all lakes through there. This lake region right there had that 4.7, huh? Probably a little bigger than that. Right here on Italy. Finally, we're having quakes here on the island of Italy. A 4.2. Oh dear. What's this? 4.1. We're gonna have to start talking about Campi Flegrei here. This volcano is been due for a while, and I see quake activity happening right around it. So this could be an indicator that Campi Flegrei's waking up. We get pressure in older stuff, like older dormant volcanoes. The pressure's looking for any way to release, and if recent ones that are plugged up are too plugged, well, that pressure will seek a different avenue. And if there's an old volcano that after erosion some water got down in there and made a weak spot, well, it'll choose that one instead. So we're going to have to watch out for Campi Flegrei here pretty soon, because when I see this, yeah, look at that island made. And then right here, right in the middle of all that city, and the whole caldera. So that whole area would be on high alert. Oh, what is this? A 4.5 at the surface up there in the inlet? Well, that's another indication of pressure down below. When we're seeing diverse quakes that are way up here and stuff, that's pressure. It's all over. Usually we see quakes around plate boundaries and, in the mid latitudes. Up here, this is an indication that pressure's, all over. It's pushing out of the sphere in every direction. And, there are more monitors up in this area, we'd probably be capturing more quakes. But that kind of shows me that we have pressure up at the northern latitudes, as well. A lot more activity on this map than the last couple of weeks. Let's go through here a little bit. 3.8, I want that one right there. 4.5 energy making it up here to the fulcrum. What made it over this other side right here? I want that one right there. A 3.3, huh? So anything 3.3 and 3.8, 3.1, there it is right there. So your energy made it up over the fulcrum and dumped off two threes here, 3.1 and a 3.8 in the Juan de Fuca. Over here in the Juan de Fuca area is pressure growing off the coast here, water turning hot off the coast. Also, something we're talking about is, they were saying hurricane season, the waters in the hurricane band area are already at August time temperatures, and we're in May. We haven't even hit June, July, let alone August. What are the temperatures going to be like then? Is this whole thing going to be yellow? And we know the reason for our ocean temperatures being warmer than out of season right now. Here at this channel, we understand why that's happening, don't we? Well, the rest of the world's going, that's odd. It's going to be a big hurricane season. Temperatures out here have already spiked at August temperatures, and we're not even into May yet, into June yet. So that's what makes me say it's going to be a very dangerous hurricane season, because what happens when all this area turns yellow, as far as temperature. Now, let's even go back a little bit. I jump all over the place, so you'll have to get used to me. I have both right and left brain problems. So, look, this is your sea surface temperatures, standard sea surface temperatures right here. And look how hot they are already. Coming off the coast right here. We're already in purple right here at the equator. Then white being the last color to go. And look how, oh my, what? Oh, I'm going to have to pray on this. All right, so anyways, we're going to see, you can see our sea surface water, our water temperatures are already getting hot in this region. To pre-hurricane season, we're already kind of there. So things are already formulating there. Now back to the earthquake page. Ugh. Lord, help me, please. 2.5 up here in Stanley, Idaho. Let's get down here to where it counts. What? Tsunami warning. I forgot. People in Southern California freak out. 4.1 tsunami alert. Let's see what this alert came in at, though. Sometimes it's lower, sometimes it's higher, but 4.4. That's why it was a 4.4, not a 4.1. It probably shook it pretty good and spooked those people, and they're like, tsunami alert. Anyways, right here at this is our spot that's having all the swarming. And in fact, we need to check that. Now we have a change up here. Check this out. All right, so big problem here now. Serious swarming right here yesterday. Still some, but not our main weak spot. We have another weak spot forming here. It started off with a tsunami, a 4.4, not a 1. Then a 1.4, not a 1. 1.6, couple of little aftershocks right here, but right next to our weak spot, it looks like we have another one. And something else kind of hopping in the mountains here. Not too much, but it's just indications here of where. Here, let me do this. You see this spot? It's almost a little stronger than this spot. So we have two little weak spots right here. That's only one quake. I wouldn't count that one quite yet. But it looks like some of this pressure was relieved by a new spot. So if we have two spots that relieve pressure now, that would be good. Anything comes up this fault line, we get a 6 down here, at the Cocos Plate. Instead of sending a 6 up here, it's going to get jammed up here and just start relieving all the energy at these two little perforations, hopefully. Also, I want to come up here, just double check our geysers. Yeah, the geysers up here in Northern California. See, they're pumping out a lot of microquakes, so a lot of energy being released there. Another relief point, another relief valve. And then again here, this same region, they're not big, but they're there. So if there were, if we had a bigger thrust energy come in and we're looking for 4.5 to 6 energy coming through the Bay Area, if it doesn't happen on the fault line, that would be the next spot right there. Because we've seen a few of them now. This spot is showing signs of weakness when you see a bunch of quakes in that region. Okay. So, everybody in that area, be aware that you're sitting on a little weak spot. All right. Let me. Whoop. You guys still with me? You okay? No sleeping in class. Wake up. All right. Fulcrum point. But the fulcrum point's pointing that way. Fulcrum point quake 5.2 down at 91. So we got some mid-range 5 energy there. There's a 5 right there, backed up with a mid-range 4, lower 4, mid-range 4, and another mid-range 4. So South America dishing out its energy nice and evenly there. Nothing out here at this fulcrum point. All this plate boundary's all quiet. So quite a day of quakes. A lot more activity today than what we've seen before. Surfer girl was asleep. She woke up. She didn't realize I've been live for an hour. Wake up, class. No sleeping in class. I don't see how you could fall asleep in this class. Well, except that it's the wee hours of the morning. Yeah, the best stuff of the day is the middle of the night. Okay. Oh, this is the forecast. I don't want the weather forecast yet. We're gonna go get rid of that one, that one, that one. I'm gonna keep this, and now volcano page. Let me open the volcano page here. I have to kind of clear some of the other ones out. Oh, I was making a joke because they cut me offline and you guys glitched out for a second and I see the circle spinning and you guys were like, uh-oh, we went down. And then I came back live and I'm like, is the class falling asleep? Some people will get my weird humor. Others won't. Volcanoes today. Ooh, look at this. Full page action. What did I do to deserve that? All right, here we go. Headlines. Volcano today. 21. Santa Guido, Fuego, Ibu, Tucano, Sabancaya. All right, so now here we go. Now we're talking, baby. Here's Tucano on this little island right here, okay? And you can see the ash cloud right there. All right, and that was Dukono from space today, the satellite image of Dukono on the 21st. And there's Dukono was 10,000 feet. So that's pretty high blast for Dukono. That's a lot of pressure. Dukono pumping at 10,000. Yeah, that's pressure being released right there. Here we have Ibu, flight level 19,000 feet. Okay, so 19 out of 1,000 out of Ibu, 10 out of Dukono, 13,000 out of Santa Guido, Fuego, 16,000, Sabancaya, 24,000. Good Lord. I think the class was quiet and paying attention. Too much weirdness happening. Yeah, I agree with you, Southern girl. I think the class was quiet. I don't blame you guys. This stuff is disturbing. All right, let's get on with it. Oh, look at this. Is going to be our map all blown up? Wait. What was that? I want to see that map all blown up. Aha. So, there you have your volcanoes and their names. Let's kind of look around at that for a second there. Is that captured? Yeah. Shivalush, Kluchevskoy, Bizamani, Ebiko, Sakurajima, Suenosijima. The one in yellow is Nishinoshima. Wow. These aren't the easiest to say. Here's Manam in yellow. Over here is Ruang, Dukono, and Gamalama up in there. Also is Karangatang. Then over here we have Manam, um, Bangana, and Ulawan. Over here is Tinakula, Aoba, and Yasur. Here's Marapi, and then up here on the Barren Island is another one. We'll have to go investigate that one right there. So Marapi, Krakatau, Semaru, Merapi, Rayung. Also here is Luatobi and Luatolo, two of them there. Over here we got Stromboli and Etna, Urda Ale, Niragongo, Nyamaragira, and Old Domingo Liriaga. I don't know. We'll figure that one out in a minute. Michael, Villarica, just so you know, we're kind of relative of where these are. Sabancaya, Reventador, Ubinus, Cotopaxi, Fernandina, Pirace, Nevada del Ruiz, Sangay, all in there. Here's Concepcion, Messiah, Rincon de Vieja, Fernandina, Sangay, Fuego, Santa Guido, Popocatépetl, all in that Mexico or the Central America, and right in that region. All right. Then we have a couple more out here. Here's the one off of Tonga, Kilauea, and the Great Sitkin one up here. Don't forget about Michael down there. And they always hide it, but down here in the corner of the page, see that? On Antarctica is a currently erupting volcano. All right, so there's your little map. Now, let's get back into the 19th. Oh, the 20th. Is it? Yeah. So, Sakurajima, 8,000 feet. Ibu, 20,000 feet. Ow. Luatobi, 6,000 feet. We saw the image of Dukono. I don't need that. Please, come here. Thank you. Luatolo, 6,000 feet. Semaru, explosive activity continues to 15,000 feet. Little Semaru here in East Java was pumping, its maximum was 14. Now it's been pumping 15 for quite a while now. So every day, 15,000 feet out of Semaru. Explosive, extrusive eruption of the volcano continues. The active lava dome within the long-range Soloco crater continues to grow, with viscous fresh magma rising into it, making the dome vividly glowing. Minor Vulcanian-type eruptions continue to take place from the lava dome at roughly regular intervals of every 30 minutes, generating gray ash plumes. Wow. Regular intervals of every 30 minutes. Emissions of ash rose to about 4.4 kilometers in drift. Wow. So Dukono, 10,000 feet right there. We did that one. Popocatépetl in Mexico, 19,000 feet. That's huge. Santa Guido, it's always a big one, usually 20,000 or something. Fuego, 15,000. Sabancaya, 27,000. Wow. Yeah, so you can see a big difference in our regular altitudes of these blasts. So we've had an uptick in our pressure. I'm just going to scroll through these. You can look at these. The right is ones that are active, but not always. Over here on the left, these are currently always erupting. every 30 minutes or so. What the heck? Not every one of them, but Samaru, the busy one, is erupting every 30 minutes or so. And some of these can hop over here sometimes when we get, especially Nevada del Ruiz right here, it'll get a 22,000-foot blast out of it and be on this side instead. So that's a lot of volcanic activity when you were scrolling through this list. I mean, back in the old days, it was Kilauea was the only active volcano, and then Mount St. Helens went off, and we had two of them. Now we're, I don't know, 54. No big deal. Nobody bats an eye at it. Crazy, crazy, crazy. All right, I think now we're going to get on to our weather. And another serious issue we have to talk about here. So we'll just let that roll for a second. Oh, my. All right. I'll just kind of scroll this. There you go. Now you can see the ticker, the time frame, and everything. Let that play for just a second there. I need to take a second here. Where'd that go? Oh, dang it. Oh, well. Just have to do it after this report. Okay, let's back up a little bit. I'm really concerned about this next storm, okay? I don't want to waste a bunch of time looking at stuff further on into the week when it's going to change anyways. What we need to focus now on is this thing that's currently happening right now. Now, we're at the nighttime here. Let me just pull this up a little bit more so you get more of the page there. Nighttime, your current activity up here, Nebraska, also stuff going on over there. I haven't got a chance to look at my radar app in a while, so we'll check that in a little bit. Morning of the 21st here. Okay, morning time convection, serious weather, tornadoes possible even. We'll check the radar here, but that'll be the morning of the 21st. You see this low is deep. It means business. As it drives upward like that, going up north into colder air, there's a bunch of warm, moist air driving up into that cold Arctic air up there. Your noontime tomorrow, your convection tomorrow. Oh, dang, man, I was hoping that would change. All right, you guys. I'll let the image do the talking. We're talking most of the state of Minnesota there. And from what I was looking at, I saw some other stuff. I would watch Iowa down here. Let's back up one frame. Can we right there? The noontime. This whole blob might be shifted over a little bit. That might be taken. We'll have to follow it tomorrow as to where this main pocket of energy pushing upward like that is going. But that's going to be a serious event at convection, and then into the nighttime, it's going to drive now instead of being kind of. Watch this tail area too. This will probably be a little more convective than what we're seeing here, but this area right up there, we're looking at a 985. 984. So that's a very high-end Category 1 hurricane. Almost a Category 2 land hurricane. Okay? We'll make up a name for it. I'm sure they're coming up with a name here pretty soon that the meteorological community is all discussing these new style of storms, new classifications for tornadoes based on the death count that they will entail. Yeah, get that. Everything's going to have a new category based on the death toll. So you'll have a This will be a category 1 killer, where it'll kill 100 to 200 people, or not per se this storm, but coming in the future, your new categories coming out will be based on a death toll. So there's your convection. That right there, that time frame from the sun going down to right there, even from noon, even in the morning, all day tomorrow is just going to be very nasty. That's the nighttime going into the morning of the 22nd. You people up in Canada, up in here, you better start making plans. You better start getting out of the way of this thing and taking this seriously. Do you see this big long uppercut right here? This is like Tyson pulling his famous uppercut to knock you out. And that is a 982 now. That's category 2 hurricane going up into Canada, basically. The tight millibars, the wind speeds, it's actually going to combine with cold weather, and you're going to have super snow up there at the very top. But that is quite the event going way up into Canada. So you people that are up in this region, or if you know people that live up in Canada, up in that region, you better start warning them, because that is going to be in the morning time when everybody's asleep. Then it turns to super snow. You see that right there? It's just going to dump like really heavy amounts, really fast. Prepare for blizzard conditions, heavy snow, paralyzing snow. You'll probably be snowbound if you get caught in it. Then by the convection, it's out of there. I want to back here. This is so intense. You see this tail? Even though it's broken right here, these fire-ups are going to be a little, possibly more severe than that. We'll see. I pray I'm wrong. Oh, there it is right there. Okay, so at convection of the 22nd, you're going to see this land hurricane up here turn from violent thunderstorms into super snow. It's split tail. This southern part down here will fire up. This split right here, sometimes the southern flank right here can get a little nasty, as well as up in this little tail part too. So we'll see what happens between there and there. They're still showing chances in there. So even though they're tiny little dots right in here, watch that area too. Now, of course, back down in here, because we got so much moisture, and it's the tail that'll fire up at night, because there's convection. This is the 22nd, noontime, the 22nd, convection, nighttime. The morning of the 23rd, noon, convection, nighttime. Another nighttime event in Arkansas here on the 23rd. Morning of the 24th, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 25th, noon, convection, nighttime. 26, noon, convection, nighttime. 27, noon, convection, nighttime. 28, noon, convection, nighttime. 29th, noon, convection, nighttime. 30th, noon, convection, nighttime. 31st, noon, convection, nighttime. The 1st of June, everybody, 1st of June, noon, convection, nighttime. 2nd, noon, convection, nighttime. 3rd, noon, convection, nighttime, and into the 4th and 5th. And all right, so starting now, everybody in Nebraska, stay alert through the morning hours. Everybody up through North or South Dakota and going into Minnesota by noon to 1 o'clock tomorrow in the afternoon is when this whole system is going to be covering your entire state. If these processes happen, that will be the case there. It could be a little bit lower than that down in Iowa and Illinois, but anywhere around that green blob, I would be on high alert. I don't even live in tornado country, and I see a thunderhead, and I watch that sucker to make sure it doesn't start to rotate. It'll go up and anvil out and disseminate, and then it's lost its steam. But if it continues to boil and start to rotate at the base, you got to watch that stuff. Learn to watch your own skies and learn how to, read your own weather by reading your own skies too. It's important because lately we've had radar apps go down. Lately we've had NOAA weather radios go down. Lately we've had news weather stations go down. All right, so the only thing to rely on would be somebody on YouTube who's, live casting, or your memory of what you saw the night before on Brian's show or whatever. You will have the know that tomorrow at convection, at the end of convection, it's going to be a nasty day for Minnesota or this region up here, depending on where it goes. Okay, we now have another player in this game, and it's that sphere. Those spheres are having an effect on our weather. Okay, if you think I'm crazy, no. Look at that, right? Nope, not that. No, always trying to do something and gotta be delays. Come on, hurry up with your ad. I had this thing pulled up and paused for a reason, so we didn't have to go through all that. Okay, well, I'll come back to it in a minute after the forecast model. That's too bad, dude. I hate it when YouTube does that shit, Purposely had a thing pulled up for a reason. Anyways, this is going to be a very serious event tomorrow and tomorrow night going up into Canada. Depending on how fast it's moving, it might, take a little longer to get up into Canada, but it's going up in there. And you see how from the morning time, this is the coldest time of the day right here. All right. And they're having violent thunderstorms. Then when the sun comes up and it starts to warm up, those thunderstorms turn into snow. Instead of staying thunderstorms when the sun comes up, it actually turns to snow. So it's going to be quite an event up there. There's some purple up in there, which is 14 inches of snow. You can see 2 feet of snow out of that, up in that little central part up there. All right, so there's your weather, your astrophysics, geophysics, terraphysics, and now we're going to get into our spiritual part and the metaphysics of it all. Now, where did this go? Mm-hmm. All right. I think it's right here. There it is. Okay. See that cloud? There. Let's just get it right up in your face there. Picture's worth 1,000 words, isn't it? Now, when I was talking about these spheroid-shaped objects controlling our weather and producing clouds and controlling the weather, and I know it sounds far out and fascinating and magical and stuff, but take a look with your own eyes. This is all over the place. A real picture. I've seen this. You guys have seen similar activity in your clouds too. Okay? So if it's not what I'm thinking it is, then how does this happen? A perfectly round cloud. Okay. And there's a good example of the spheroids, convecting. Well, they're using electromagnetic energy to cause the water to condensate. I showed you how the magnets can make the water vortex, right? So electromagnetic energy can manipulate water molecules. So you could take a magnetic field and make a round cloud. It's not a natural cloud. Something other is making it. Okay. So this activity, along with the activity I've showed you on my channel here, let's get over to my channel here. Don't mind that picture. That's a cover of the song, not my channel. Now over here we had the shorts. Yeah, missing the shorts. This effect yesterday over Kansas City. And we have a round spheroid that's manipulating the weather. All right, we captured it there yesterday over Kansas City. Same effect, just bigger sphere, like on a grander scale. Okay. Then there was also the first event that I captured was back here over Florida. Where did it go? Did I put it on there? Thought I had it on this. Oh no, it's against silver on shorts too. Oh, never mind. Duh. We had to do a whole show on it. I forgot. There it is. Oh, I was going to say, of course, an ad, but okay, we'll get it here at the tail end. All right, here's another one of these spheres moving through the atmosphere. You can see the round shape. When the air goes over the top or colder air is up higher, you get your clouds condensing even thicker at the top. The current of the air out in front causes storm fronts right out in front of it here. The air going over, around, under, across, all the way around this sphere comes back to a focal point where they all come together to a focal point, and all these air currents hit each other and cause a twisted tail of turbulence that folds over itself, much like a jump rope or like a wave, like a tube in the sky, a wave crashing over itself and then rolling. It's like a tube of air rolling in the air. Okay, and this is these lateral storm fronts that Mike is talking about. Where they're going to get more and more violent, but they come off the tail of these round spheroid objects manipulating our weather. Objects, magnetic fields, whatever it is, something spherical in shape, causing an electromagnetic field that's interacting and inducing weather, steering weather, causing weather, also subduing weather. I've seen these spheres approach and they're all clear, they're see-through, you don't see it. You won't see it until it runs into a storm and dissipates it, and the dissipating storm drapes over the sphere, and you go, oh, something just came running through there and killed that storm. Other ones come through like this and move and leave a tail. And then other ones, now we have other activity that they're doing. Other ones will do this now and will rotate. The sphere itself is either spinning and rotating, or it's generating a rotating magnetic field that's causing the clouds to spin and rotate. All right. And if you think that's crazy, well, there you go. That's just a small version of it. It's like a little hint. This was like a little clue. That was purposely done to say, hey, look at this. And you look up and you go, what the heck? A ball of cloud in the sky? It's not a circle, it's a sphere. It's obviously a ball. It's not a cloud can't be flat and perfectly circular like on a piece of paper. So it's obviously a sphere of cloud. How did a cloud generate in a perfect ball? What? All pressure, even from outside, pushing around it on every angle evenly? Like science would have you think? No. There's obviously something there generating an electromagnetic field that's causing the water to to condensate, to turn the water in the air, which is air water vapor in our air, to condensate, like on the side of a glass. You take a glass of ice water and you leave it out sitting, all of a sudden more water condensates on the outside of the glass. Well, if you have something cold up there, a cold ball up in the air, water droplets will stick to it because it's colder up there, and they'll adhere to it when it's colder. The dew point temperature drops, and then it forms a water droplet. Clearly is what's going on here. This is groundbreaking stuff, and you guys got a front row to it. Now, what I want to point out is I don't know if we can see it too well because my camera and stuff sucks. Right in the middle here, I'm going to try to pause it. Ding! You see this little tiny pocket right there open up? That's the very top of the sphere, right? The ball's right here. Air goes over, and the very top part, well, everything's rotating around it, so it clears out the very top of the ball right there, okay? And it makes this little opening, all right? And kind of like this. Oh, why do they always have to reset? Okay, give me a second here. You right here. You got to come over to Mr. MBB and check out what this lady got. The Eye of the Storm. And when I tell you there are eyes in the clouds watching you, this is what I'm talking about. That's a very clear-cut, defined one, but let's go back a little bit here. We want to see the eye. All right, so there's the original with the filter. Here, let's zoom in here a little bit. I got my eye on you. All right. There, Eye of the Storm right there. Okay. So maybe that's a little spheroid object right in the middle right there. Or maybe it's something else controlling the weather, huh? All right, so we got another cool image to read too. Okay, so we'll leave that one up there. We can, we'll save that for like weather stuff, weather reporting, but I gotta save that. What did it say? Yeah, that's good enough. Now, get rid of that. What was the crazy one thing? All right. Hello. Okay, so we have definitely some other player in our weather now, making our weather forecast models very, very hard to predict. Okay, let me just take a peek at my radar real quick here. See if you know what? Never mind. I get too wrapped up in that stuff. Just tomorrow, everybody be on alert. It's going to be a hairy day for that part of the country. And if we have any kind of hiccups or hit kind of a bump or whatever, it could wind up 100 miles in a different direction. And 100 miles up higher translates to a lot down below. So this is the noontime, the morning, tomorrow morning, starting like right around the next hours or so, right there, going up into Minnesota through the noontime, and then by convection, all hell breaks loose through the night. And then up into Canada into the morning hours, and then snow tomorrow or the day after tomorrow up there. All right, that's a huge storm. So everybody, stay on alert, be on your toes. If you got friends and family in that area, warn them now. Warn them ahead of time. Hey, tomorrow during the afternoon, if you're working and you're in the warehouse on your lunch break, take a peek outside. Make sure you're not about to die. Look at the sky. Make sure you don't die. Kind of thing like that. Make bumper stickers like that. Learn to read the sky so you don't die. I don't know. Just corny stuff I come up with. All right. So, yeah, let's get rid of that in the forecast. So we got that image. What was this one? That one, good. Okay. So, we can clear this out. Get to that one. All right. So there are spiritual events that are causing all this. Okay. All the activity on the sun, spiritual realm, all the activity in your weather, spiritual realm. Everything that happens is the spiritual realm. You know why? Because you actually live in the spiritual realm. You didn't know that, did you? They're all around you. Oh, what can we do here? Something a little different here. Ew. Hey, you're looking at $70 for that. I was just, oh man, come back. I was gonna make a joke. I was gonna have fun with that. All right, here, let's play it real quick. This is one of the best ones here of Jesus in the clouds with his crown and his thorn, or his crown hovering above his head up here. And if you turn your head to the right, you can make it out a little bit better. Well, now I found a way to clean it up, so now we're gonna run it through a filter. Now look at it. Now you can really see it. Turn your head to the right about 45 degrees. You can make out his face, his eyes, nose, his chin and his beard, his hair flowing back, and the crown above him. And let's do it one more time here. Let's enhance it even more. There we go. Now you can really clearly see it. So I was just messing around and finally found a way to filter these pictures, and I've been going back through a lot of them and running them through the filter, and boy, do we got a lot of crazy stuff to go over. So for the moment, we're just doing this one on the spur of the moment real quick, just to touch base with you guys. I still love you all. I miss you all. Been going through some stuff, but I'm okay. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I love it. Now you can really clear. All right, that's probably the best filtered image right there. But you can really see the crown now, and it makes it pop a little bit more. And what I wanted to do was everybody wants that weather data over the region on the 19th, and it's down for a reason. It's not available for a reason. So we won't be doing that though. Okay. I know everybody wants to know what was going on over there. I just showed you on the intro that they were having a storm over there at the time. Okay. They were having a very, very gnarly storm over there at the time. It flooded it, messed up their country, and they lost their president all in one day, all within like a 24-hour period. So, here, you want to know? You want to see the weather over what happened over Where are we going here? Yeah, we'll go right here. Here. Here's a rough idea of what happened over Iraq or over Iran. Something kind of like this.
All right, here we are again with this.
Like a land hurricane with a bunch of nasty tornadoes and storms embedded in the big old spheroid.
Later on for tonight's show.
Electromagnetic impulse probably. It bumped up against the edge of the sphere or something and bzzz, shorted out the helicopter probably, or who knows what happened. But there was some storm activity. Probably much like this, and that's why you can't find it. Actually, you probably can't find this either, except for here. Anyways, that was a great question, though. Everybody, I know everybody's dying to know what the weather was like, and that was the case. It was taken out by the weather. No matter what the media tries to sell you, because they're going to try to make it sound like, oh, it was an operation and they took him out. Now we can go to war. Don't fall for that shit. Pardon my French, because that was actually a proper word, because that's what it is. They're going to try to pull one over on you guys now with that, and do not fall for it. The weather took out that chopper. It's not a CIA operation, Mossad, whatever. They're going to try to use that as an excuse to take them to war, too. And we'll know. We'll know the difference. We knew it was a weather event. So weather events are happening all over the place. I mean, it's a new country, a new place, just day after day, someplace just getting raped. And, well, they're all places that went up against a certain entity, we'll say. They don't like him. And now it's sticking out like a sore thumb which places that are being watched over and which places aren't. Anyways, that was a great question. Thanks for the response. You're great, man. Awesome. Thank you. Oh, thank you. And thanks a lot just here for the redacted, huh? Okay, well, as long as you're here, we love everybody here. All right. So here's your effect. Caused by, electromagnetic disturbances in the air causing round clouds, round weather features, spherical weather. How about that? And when we get all that temperature on the Atlantic Ocean this year, and one of these things passes over it, Category 9, 10, maybe, we'll see. If this is a land hurricane, if we're having this stuff happen over land, imagine what a hurricane is going to happen this year. It's nuts. And it's all because the spiritual realm's happening. Okay, now, back to where we're pulling out pics, and I was doing movies, videos. Hopefully you saw that image there. We're going to do, what's the other important one we want to do too? Yeah. Just real quick.
What happened was I was out in my garage and praying, and in this image here, you can see we're still in the garage with our same display right here. And this was actually captured the day before the other picture, but I hadn't found it for years later until I was digging around through my old pictures and stuff, and went even further back to see if I'd missed anything, and I captured this one. And
this is October 4th of 2017, 11 days after the Revelation 12 star alignment that should have stunned the world. That should have just been the key indicator right there. Everybody should have just slit the brakes and went, wow, that shit's real. But no, nobody batted an eye. They just kept going.
I'm going to zoom into this.
But this started happening to me
this one right here.
Right after the star alignment.
Just bear with me for a second here. Now, hopefully, you can see that we have a lady's profile here. Here's her eye, here's her forehead, her snub little nose, here's the bottom jaw. She's smiling, she's looking down, and she's holding a baby. And here's the baby's head right here. Here's the face, the back of the head. Here's her arm cupped around like this, and she's holding the baby. Now I'm going to run this through the filter real quick, and it's going to enhance it, but a little bit too much. See, now you can really make out her profile a lot better and see her face, and her headdress is coming over and going down back behind her. And you can still make out the baby's head right here.
Let's try darkening this for a second. There we go. Now you can see the baby's head a little bit better. All right. And that happened 11 days after the star alignment, and all this crazy paranormal activity started happening to me. Just out of nowhere. I was not a big old paranormal believer. I knew about UFOs and stuff, but all this stuff just caught me off guard, swept me off my feet, turned my life upside down, inside out, and now here we are. So, very beautiful image right there. Revelation 12. The baby didn't get devoured by the dragon. It was actually born and caught up to God. Okay? Are you caught up in these images? Are these fascinating? Are you intrigued? Then you are caught up to God. Okay, now we got that image right there. No, we don't want that image. That's just part of the story. What's the other thing we were gonna do? That one right there. There's a couple people, but that's okay.
Welcome back. So I'm real excited to show you this one. This is an angel that was captured on my security cameras, and now I've run it through the filter here. So if you turn your head to the 45 degrees,
to the right,
out the head, the hair, the breasts. It's a female. The torso, the waist, the legs coming down here, a wing coming off here, a wing coming off over here. And we'll zoom in on this real quick because this one's nice and clear that you can. Okay. And this is an angel that was caught hovering in a shaft of light over this sleeping child down below here. So zoom in on it again.
All right, so beautiful angels to kind of bring you some peace there. Let's pull up another one here. We'll go. Always got the usual one. Oh, that's what you wanted me to do. Oh boy, you guys aren't ready for a bunch of audio stuff tonight. I was gonna redo the man walking in the clouds, the audio, the messages that are hidden in the electromagnetic voice prints that are captured there. Might do that another night because it's getting kind of late. All right, so we got that image, beautiful angels. Remember, it's the spiritual realm. It's real. I've got my eye on you. I'm watching you from above, just like this. Okay, so, and then one more good image here. What's the other one? One second here, and then we'll get to reading. We got some stuff for you guys tonight too. All right, one more good image here. Look at all this TDS or storm coverage right now. All kinds of places getting hit. So let me just get to my channel though. One of you ladies out there is that gal. What's what I was looking for? Oh, that was the lion face one. Yeah. Where is it? Oh. No. I need to do more shorts. Oh, well, we're just going to stick with this then. All right, you guys are here. You can all gather, get your comfortable, get your drink, your snacks, curl up with your loved one in your car, sitting at your laptop. People do all kinds of people doing different things. It's pretty cool. Real quick before I get into this, the strangest thing happened. Was out picking up some dinner tonight, getting some takeout, and my food was going to take a minute to be ready, and they're like, yeah, if you sit down and just wait a second, we'll bring it out to you. I said, okay. So I sit down, and the man at the table next to me, I didn't notice there was a gentleman sitting at the table next to me, and in my head, I hear somebody start praying, like right next to me. And I look over, and this gentleman next to me is praying because he got diagnosed with cancer. And he didn't know how to tell his wife. He was there. They were going to have dinner there at the Chinese place, and he was going to break the bad news to her there about his cancer. And I heard him praying a real prayer. I haven't heard that in a long time, especially the person in the same room. I heard his prayer, and he was asking, what am I going to tell her? What am I going to tell her? What am I going to say? What am I going to tell her? And I looked at him, and I said, it's going to be okay. And the term, it's going to be okay, that's what he's going to tell her. It also reassured him that it was going to be okay. And then the realization sunk in that he was praying that, and I answered his thought. He was praying it. What am I going to tell her? What am I going to tell her? What am I going to tell her? It's going to be okay. And when he realized that was the answer, and that I just told him that, he realized his prayers were answered and kind of looked at me with a smile in a weird way, like, hey, wait a second. Did you hear what I was praying? Did you really hear what I was actually praying? That guy was baffled at how I was able to answer his prayer right there. And you know what? His cancer will be gone. It's going to be okay. And now that he knows it's going to be okay, his cancer will reverse and be gone. That's what I do, is I kick cancer's ass. And on the back of my shirt, the shirt I'm wearing, it says, kicking cancer's ass. And when he read the back of my shirt, when I walked away, he smiled because I answered his prayer. And then he was wondering, what is my cancer going to be gone? And when he looked back, the back of my shirt answered that question as well, kicking cancer's ass. And he was like, what? Yeah. And that's what happens when I interact with people in public. It's so awesome. Just so awesome. It was awesome that he was actually praying. And I heard it. I was right there to answer. I'm sitting right next to me, at the table right next to me. I haven't had that happen yet. So that was, it was enjoyable, actually. It was very relieving to see him get the relief that he needed, because he was stressing hard. What am I going to tell her? Oh my God, can't believe I'm breaking this news to my wife over dinner right now. What am I going to say? It's going to be okay. All right, so while you're looking at that and you think about what just happened there, I want you to rest in me, forgetting about the worries of the world. Okay, everything that we're looking at here is very disturbing. We see what's happening. It's different. It's weird. It's out of the realm of normality. So therefore, you need to Rest in me and forget about the worries of the world for a minute. Look at that image, listen to my voice, and focus on me. I am Emmanuel, and let my living presence as a person here on earth in a meat suit, I am alive. I am here and alive, and let my living presence envelop you in peace. So rest in me. Forget about the world. Focus on me. Live in my presence. Find the peace in living in my presence. Tune in to my eternal security, for I am the same yesterday, today, and on into forever. If you live on the surface of life by focusing on the ever-changing phenomena that you see, you'll find yourself echoing the words of Solomon, saying everything is meaningless, meaningless, meaningless. Everything is meaningless. Really, it is. The only thing that means anything is this and your salvation. That's what you're here for. It's the test, the trial. See what you're made of. You're going to hang with the coolest dude in the universe for eternity. We're past the test. Okay, so that means relaxing and resting in me and forgetting about the worries of the world. Understand that I'm here with you now. Tune into my eternal presence, my living presence with you, and let that living presence envelop you in peace. You can do that now because you understand that I'm the same. I don't change. I'm the same yesterday. I'm the same today. I'll be the same tomorrow and into the future. So that's the security, knowing that I don't change. Now, like again, if you live on the surface of life by focusing on the changing phenomena in the world, you'll find yourself saying everything is meaningless. So, living in collaboration with me is the way to instill meaning into your days. You want meaning in your days now? Well, live in collaboration with me. It's that easy. And then you really do have meaning, don't you guys? Now that you guys see this and you hear me and you found that magic spark, you're at peace inside. You've been raptured. You have the rapture in your heart feeling. Okay, you're living now in collaboration with me, and living in collaboration with me is the way to instill meaning into your days. Now you know you're a child of God. You're on a mission from God. You're living in collaboration with me. So when you get up each day, begin each day alone with me so that you can experience the reality of my presence. As you spend time with me, the way before you opens up step by step. The way before you doesn't just open up the whole thing all at once and there's the entire way all laid out before you in one thing. No, I open up the way step by step. Okay? So each day arise from the stillness of our communion and gradually begin your journey through that day. Hold my hand in deliberate dependence on me, and I will smooth out the path before you. Okay, each day is a bumpy road. You want to just take the bumpy road, or you want some help and smooth that path so it's not so bumpy each day? Start in the very morning. Also, holy. The word holy. It's important that you take time to be holy. Now, everybody's like, oh, holy means this, holy means that. The word holy does not mean a goody-goody. It does not mean good or perfect. The word holy means set apart for sacred use. Oh, you're like a special piece in the game. You've been set apart for sacred use, not just, oh, yeah, you're a pawn, I'll sacrifice you here. No, 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 no. You have been set apart for sacred use. That's what makes one holy. If you're not doing something sacred, if you're not being used for a sacred use, then you're not holy. Holy does not mean a goody-goody or a perfect, person. Holy means that you have been, you people right now seeing this image and hearing my voice, are you set apart from the rest of the world? Are you set apart from the crowd? Yeah, you are, aren't you? You've been set apart for sacred use, haven't you? If you're here looking and listening to me, you have been set apart for sacred use, which makes you holy, doesn't it? So shit, you've not only been raptured, you're holy now too. Pretty cool, huh? And you thought it meant all this other stuff. No, 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 no. Holy means you have been set aside for a special purpose, not just a special purpose, sacred, divine purpose, a divine use. That makes you even more special. You're like the gem of the gems. So when I say take time to be holy, that means take some time in your life to realize that you have been set apart from the rest for sacred use. You are now, like on the Blues Brothers, you are on a mission from God. And you better understand it that way, because that's what it really is. When you wrap your head around that, you will understand that you've been set apart for sacred use. That makes you holy. It doesn't make you a goody-goody. I'm not looking for perfection. Progress with me, not perfection. So now you are holy. Now you are, well, in your terminology, raptured. You have been caught up with me in the clouds here, so you are technically raptured. There's wars and rumors of wars. There's all kinds of stuff going on. Look up. You'll see me coming in the clouds. Well, here's me in the clouds. So you look up, you see me coming in the clouds. Then you get caught up with me in the clouds. Now you're meeting me in the air of cyberspace. You have been raptured. You have been set apart for sacred use. You are now holy. Do you guys understand that now? If you want it. How bad do you want it? Because it's right there. If you want it, it's how much you want it. How willing are you? On a scale of 1 to 10, what's your willingness? Are you in? You got your toe in the water? You in at a 1? Or did you just go right to the deep end and dive right on in and you are a full 10 and you have found it? And you are set apart for sacred use. You are holy. And that is what these quiet moments in my presence are accomplishing. Okay? You're realizing now that you've been set apart for sacred use, and that is what these quiet moments in my presence are accomplishing within you. Aren't they? This is happening inside you now, isn't it? It's accomplishing this within you now. So, yeah, I've gotten under your skin now. So as you focus your mind and your heart on me, you are being transformed, recreated into the one I designed you to be. Because what this world has turned you into is not what I designed you to be. This world has turned you into something, I can't use that word, but now I have come along and I have picked you out and I have set you apart for sacred use. You are now holy. And my presence is now accomplishing stuff inside you. As you focus your mind and heart on me, you are being transformed, aren't you? You are being recreated, aren't you? Yeah, you're being transformed and recreated into the one I designed you to be. And this process requires blocks of time set aside for communion with me. The benefits of this practice are limitless. Emotional and physical healing are enhanced by your soaking in the light of my presence. So, as you're soaking this in, you're understanding my presence is here now. You've jumped in wholeheartedly, you're 100%. All of a sudden, some benefits start coming. You don't notice it, but some of these benefits, emotional and physical healing, start to happen. And once they start to happen, they actually are enhanced even more by your soaking in more of my presence. So the more you soak in my presence, you're like literally, experiencing it, understanding it. You're soaking it in. You're absorbing it. I'm a stickler for absorption. But you will see benefits of this practice, and there'll be the emotional and the physical healing and the enhancement of that healing as you soak in more. So you experience a nearness to me that strengthens your faith and now fills you with peace. It strengthens your faith to a point of knowing. I complete your faith, and that fills you with peace as well. So your faith, come back here. Did that happen? Did I bump that? Your faith, as well as knowing now, it just enhances your faith even more. It does not take your faith away or ruin your faith. It enhances it more. You're taking your faith to knowing, which your faith already fills you with peace. Now, knowing can also fill you with peace again. Understand? It works twice. You open yourself up to receive the blessings I have prepared for you, and then you become a cleansed temple now of my Holy Spirit. So now you've become this cleansed temple of my Spirit, who is able to do in and through more. You're able to do much more, immeasurably more now than you were able to, or more than you ask or imagine either. So, 4 branches trying to complete one concept of 4 branches. There are benefits. They're emotional and physical. They get enhanced the more you soak it in. Your experience, as you experience more closeness to me, it strengthens your faith to knowing, and that fills you with peace. Receive the blessings and become that cleansed temple that now my Holy Spirit resides in there now. So now you've become a cleansed temple for my Holy Spirit to go in now and reside in you. And once you've got that Holy Spirit in you, you're able to do in and through. I'm able to do in and through you now immeasurably more than you ask or imagine. And these are just some of the benefits of being still in my presence. Hopefully you're being still. I'm a wreck over here, but I'm not a wreck. I'm just all over the place reading. Now this stuff. I really wanted to focus on that. Yeah, I'm taking care of that too. I'm juggling like 50 concepts with you guys. I'm like, I'm taking care of that one. I'm taking care of this one. I got 4 of them juggling at once, trying to complete 1 and 3 while we start 2 and 4. And oh boy. So again, it's very important, the holy, being holy. Your holiness is being understanding that you are sacred. You're set aside for sacred use. When you go into the grocery store, you're the only person in there that knows about this. In your town, you're probably one of 2 people. If it's not your best friend, you're the only person in town that knows about this. You're 1 in a billion, kind of. You see that? Do you see what I get 300 views here at this channel and there's 300 billion people? Or no, 300 million in this country. Sorry. So if I'm getting 300 views and there's roughly 300 million, that makes you 1 in a million, doesn't it? If you just do the math, simple math, if I get 300 views and there's 300 million, that makes you 1 in a million. And if you're 1 in a million, whoo, that means you are clearly, obviously set apart for sacred use then, huh? Oh, it should be drastic. It should be blatantly obvious. You stick out like a red chess piece on a black and white board. You have been set apart for sacred use if you're here. So you're holy. And everything you do is holy. Everything you do. And it does not mean goody goody. We make mistakes. Go out there, make those mistakes, learn from them. That's what makes you holy too. It's not being this, oh, I'm a priest wearing a white robe with a special cross and gold plated this, and I'm holy because I declare myself holy. No, that's not how it works at all. Everybody's got this warped sense of, I don't know where I know where they got it from, but just so you know, it's more important tonight that you rest in my presence, forget about the worries of the world, you focus on me and my living presence, and understand that I have set you apart for sacred use, making you the Holy One. Whether it's replay or years later, if you're sitting at that moment looking at this and listening to me, you are the Holy One. You are a holy one, not the, but a holy child of God now. You have purpose. You have peace. You have courage. You have everything it takes now to go live life abundantly, don't you? And for some of you who have figured out the code in the music, and others that want an explanation, I can't really do it live. So I will try to do it again in the comments. I've explained how the code works or whatever, but if you can be like today, I was out running errands. We got this activity happening in the sky while the code is playing rock and roll. Cool rock and roll song playing in the background is playing code while these faces are all over the sky. And when you realize what you're experiencing, both of those sensations at the same time, while you're alive, standing here on Earth, you'll realize you're in a different place. Um, or things have changed. Oh, yeah, we can do that one, I guess. We're going to do a little bit more here. I'll give you a few more minutes of my time here. You guys mean more to me than some of the other stuff we got to do, but it still has to get done. All right. Now, you're seeing me, you're hearing me, you're got my eye on you, I'm watching you. I know everything you think and feel already. Might as well just come out with it, confess it, get that load off your back. Oh, speaking of the confessions, and we're doing step work, right? I refer to your worries and your stresses as rocks in a backpack, right? You pick up this rock and you start stressing about somebody else's behavior, right? It has nothing to do with you, it's somebody else's behavior, but you're all stressed about it and you're carrying this useless rock in a backpack, and then you continue to see something else and you'll pick up another stressor and you'll throw it in your backpack and keep stressing about, now you got two rocks, and then you start stressing, I'm carrying two rocks, and then you pick up another stress and you throw that in there, and then you start stressing, shit, I've got three rocks now. You need, each day when you get home, take off that backpack, dump those rocks on the floor, and kick them out the door. That day is over. You cannot go back. You're carrying a bunch of stuff that is not yours. So a little daily practice after your daily stress of being out in a jungle in the world, running around amongst all these zombies, and you get home and you're still a little worked up. Take off the backpack, put it down, quit stressing about all that stuff when you get home. And then you come to this show and take a few deep breaths. Look at my face. My sheep know my voice. Okay? You guys recognize my voice? Sound comforting to you? If you're here and my voice sounds comforting, it's because my sheep recognize my voice. All right. And if you recognize my voice, I am speaking in the depths of your being. So be still so that you can hear my voice. I speak in the language of love. My words fill you with life and peace, joy and hope. I desire to talk with all of my children, but many are too busy to listen. Their work ethic has tied them up in knots. They submit wholeheartedly to their taskmaster, wondering why they feel so distant from me. Gee, wonder why. So, living close to me requires making me your first love, your highest priority. And as you seek my presence above all else, you experience peace and joy in full measure, too. Not just a little scrap of peace, not just a little crumb of joy. No, 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 no. When you live close to me, I I give you everything. If you make me your highest priority, you seek my presence above all else, you in turn get to experience real peace and real joy. So, I also am blessed when you make me first in your life. So, while you journey through life in my presence, because that's what you're truly doing, you are journeying through life in my presence. Hi. Yeah. Everybody's so caught up in their work and in the news, and there's so much calamity going on in the world that it's so it's just, it occupies your attention so much that becomes your taskmaster, is your work, and then the lying media, and then more work and more lying media, and then we just ingest this over and over and over, and it's no wonder why you feel so distant from me. It's because living close to me requires making me your first love. You're making all this other stuff your first love. You think it's more interesting to look at the lying media or whatever. So that's what makes it hard to make me your first love, is all these other distractions out there. But as you seek my presence above all else, that's when you will experience that peace and joy in full measure. And then I am also blessed in return when you do that. Okay. And I could use some. I'm in a lot of pain, every once in a while. Some of the blessings you guys bestow on me, I appreciate as well. Okay. And that's just, I'm blessed when you experience peace and joy in my presence. So please experience peace and joy right now in my presence, because that's what makes me feel good. Okay. Now we're journeying through this life together. You are journeying in my presence now, and my glory brightens the path in front of you. It'll brighten the world around you too. You'll start to see this world in a different way now. You'll realize that it's not what you thought. Also, when these pictures, even though I show the same ones, I've got to come up with some better ones here, but if these are still fascinating and you're longing for them, and you, each night when I come on, you're kind of anticipating this show, your longing for heaven is good, because it is an extension of your yearning for me. The hope of heaven is meant to strengthen and encourage you. What's all this meant to do? Strengthen and encourage you. Okay? Hopefully it's filling you with wondrous joy as well. Now, here we get into it. This is where many Christians have misunderstood this word hope, believing that it denotes wishful thinking, like, oh, I hope it rains tomorrow. I hope I get that car. I hope I get this. No. That's not what the word hope is. You guys have misused it. The word hope is this. Now you have hope. You see this world and how backward, upside down, and good is bad and bad's evil, but there's still hope. That's hope. Not, oh, I hope this or I hope that. No. It's totally misunderstood. And they think that denotes wishful thinking, and nothing could be farther from the truth. So as soon as I became your Savior, heaven became your ultimate destination. The phrase hope of heaven highlights the benefits you can enjoy now, even while remaining on earth. Therein lies the real hope of heaven. The real hope of heaven is this right here. Are the spiritual realm being captured? This is the hope of heaven. That's the hope of heaven. My entire channel, every single video, every second of every video is the hope of heaven. Okay, it's not, I hope I make it to heaven. No, it's encouragement. You're in a spiritual battle. You're in spiritual warfare, baby, and it's brutal out there, and you're going to need some hope. And what better than the real hope, the real truth, the real hope, not no BS. That's why it's important you guys understand this is a real event that took place on Easter. 2,000-year-old prophecy came true. Everybody should be floored. I know I was. Okay. That longing, that's what we want. It's that longing for heaven, okay? That's what keeps you hungry. That's what gives you hope. That's what keeps you fighting in this spiritual warfare, is hope, is longing. Okay, and most Christians have lost all of that. The phrase hope of heaven highlights the benefits you can enjoy even while remaining on earth. Well, that means right now, because you are still remaining on earth. And what you're looking at is the hope of heaven, and that's been fulfilled now. Now, when you look at that, this hope keeps you spiritually alive during dark times of adversity, and it brightens your path and heightens your awareness of my presence now. Okay? It does. It heightens your awareness of my presence. They said he would come back when there'd be this and there'd be that. Well, gee, we're in that time frame. You see anybody else with this stuff? You see anybody else with the knowledge? Does anybody speak to the depths of your being like I do? When you hear my voice, does it soothe you when you see this? Do you long for heaven when you see these images and hear my voice? That is the real hope of heaven, okay? And only one person can bring that. So, if I bring that for you, and there's only one person that can bring the hope of heaven, then that must mean I am who I say I am, huh? Wrap your mind around that one, huh? Oh, shit. Oh. Yeah. I had to, so you have to too. Yeah, I'm so happy for you guys. You guys have hope now. I'm so happy for you guys. You now have the hope of heaven, and this hope keeps you spiritually alive during dark times of adversity, and it brightens your path and heightens your awareness of my presence now. I said I would be back. I'm back. My presence is here. It was the Word made flesh, not the Word made cloud. Everybody seems to think I'll be coming back in the clouds. No, I'll be coming back in the flesh, the Son of Man. Well, that means gave birth. Somebody gave birth. I'm the son of a man, so means I'm a human. Oh shit. Imagine how I feel. Okay, I'm just so glad that you guys are finding the hope of heaven, and that it is finally brightening your path, that it is now bringing you spiritually alive, and that you are still that spiritually alive during the dark times of adversity too. Okay, and that's my desire. And my desire is that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. Okay, now the power of the Holy Spirit's what you're feeling right now. And that is my desire, that you overflow with that feeling of hope. You're longing for heaven. The hope of heaven. Okay, I think that's going to be enough for that lesson. What do I have on the back side? That can go. Yeah, that's going to be it for the next, because the next part is attached to another lesson there. So I think that'll be it for right now. You guys went through a lot there, so you have the hope of heaven. Yay! Everybody rejoice. Rejoice. You've been saved. If you want it, how bad do you want it? It's willingness. It's all about willingness. Go look up the word willingness and what the definition means. How willing are you? Because that is the measure of how much you receive. The more you believe, the more you receive. If you believe, then you receive. You got to believe to receive. So the more you believe, the more you receive. And I would just fill you up until you're overflowing. Some of you guys are overflowing out there, aren't you? You're like, what? How did this happen? It's because I love you. Okay? I love you. I miss you. And you know what? We got some new Wendy. Let me see some of these new names here. I'm so blind now. Oh, help me, Lord. I can't see. What's we got? Wendy. New jobs. What the? Why is my screen so dark over here? I'm trying to see this here. There we go. Yes, we are finding and seeing more clearly. Discernment translates to take apart. Yep. Sounds like destruction of room. Wendy, that's all right. So, Wendy Loom, Bratwurst, Max Hacks. All right, New York Debs. Thank you guys. Some new names I haven't seen in the chat here. Welcome, you guys, to a roller coaster right here, huh? And then we got some of our regulars. Michelle was here, and we got oh, good. These guys were going to town. Surfer Girl. Oh, I probably lulled her to sleep. Yeah, Leslie probably lulled her to sleep too. All right. All right, you guys. Go get some rest, all right? You know you're in the valley of the shadow of death. Don't fear any evil. For I'm here. I'm with you. You have nothing to fear now. You understand it's a test. It's a trial. You're making it through it one day at a time, step by step with me. All right, that's it for tonight. I love you all. God bless you all. And until my next show, I will be back. I am already back, and I am soon to come. Till my next show, I love you. Bye.